Hello, I'm Charlotte Munson, creator of the new musical, Die, Lady, Die. I started writing Die, Lady, Die during the pandemic, and it was inspired by a podcast that I heard. And growing up, I had no idea that this is what she went through. And then I realized with all these new Diana musicals and TV shows and movies coming out, that not a single one was written by a woman. And I felt like it was really important to have at least one of the many versions out there come from a woman's perspective. And I like the idea of it being a one-woman musical because she was incredibly isolated, and I think that helps propel the metaphor of her life better than having a huge cast, and I can't afford it. It's just me. I started writing this in the pandemic, so it's been about 2 years of writing it. My father wrote 15 of the songs, I wrote 4. I've always wanted to write a musical with my dad because he was a composer in the 1980s in New York City. He gave that up to become a psychiatrist, and now that he's retired from psychiatry, he was able to write the musical with me. And we've mainly wrote it with me in LA and him in Vermont, and just talking every day on the phone, and him sending me recordings of what he came up with, and then me sending recordings back. And it came together finally for the Hollywood Fringe Festival because I had to. We hadn't finished yet when I said I would do it, and that was a good date for us to finally put a fire underneath our butts and get it done. So when I realized I wanted to write this musical about Lady Diana, I started doing a ton of research, watching all her documentaries and all the crazy books that have been written about her. There's only one that she was part of writing, which is Diana in Her Own Words, and that was really the main source material. I'd say about 90% of the dialogue is directly taken from that book or from interviews with Lady Diana. I was very grateful to have the Porters of Hell's Gate come on to help produce the Hollywood Fringe Festival iteration of this musical. And it was a whirlwind, but it went really well. We won Best Musical, and were given the award by TVO Best of the Fringe, or Top of the Fringe. And we were nominated for a bunch of other awards as well, and that was really exciting. But mainly what was really thrilling was all the great feedback. There was reviews that you could leave on the Hollywood Fringe site, and it was just dozens of wonderful things that people had to say about the show, and that was really what warmed my heart the most, or gave me, compelled me to then do it again with the Porters of Hell's Gate. I'm really grateful to have more time rehearsing and more tech. This is closer to what I want for Die, Lady, Die than what you saw at the Hollywood Fringe. And we have more songs and new scenes. So you should come down and see this even if you saw the Hollywood Fringe. Please. I'd love LA audiences to come see this production because I think it's really important that at least one of the many stories you hear about Lady Diana come from her perspective. This is totally, everything in this show is what she said happened from her books or from her interviews. And even if you watch every other piece about Diana out there, you will not see what she wanted you to see, or what she was hoping the world would get from these books and from her interviews. So I hope you come down to see Die, Lady, Die in order to experience what Lady Diana wanted.